Hi, I'm Roamy. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Scootababy carrier to carry an older child and how to ensure they've got a nice deep seat in the carrier so it's fitting from one knee to the other. Now here I've got the Scootababy carrier, which is already adjusted to fit me. So I'm just going to clip this around my hips like that, and then just slide it down onto my hips and just tighten it up if you need to. If you do it up above where you want it to sit, then slide it down, it'll then sit nice and snug. And you want it sitting level from one side to the other, with the body of the carrier basically going between your middle point and your hip. So it's sitting like sort of 45 degrees between front on and sideways. Right, now you've got the carrier on, just have a check that the straps are loose enough to fit over your baby and you. I tend to loosen the one at the front fully. So the one that's at the front here, loosen it fully, and then the one at the back, depending on how broad you are, you'll need to tighten it up or loosen it depending on that. Once it's set for you, you can leave the one at the back set. So I can leave that hanging down and pick up my child. Now there's a number of ways of ensuring a nice good seat with your carrier. The first is to hold your child with their bottom lower than their knees. So hold them with their knees coming up and their bottom lower. It's often called an M position, so you could make an M going across here. So first of all, hold them with their bottom lower, and the bigger the child, the deeper their bottom can go because the longer their limbs are. Hold them centrally to the panel and slide your hand up over the base of the panel and stroke it up over their bottom and back so you're holding them with the material. Check it's fitting evenly from one knee to the other. Keep hold of the panel underneath the strap with the opposite arm, so the arm on the opposite side to where you're carrying them, and then pass this piece over your head onto the other shoulder. Now while you're tightening up, keep your baby held nice and snug against you as if you were holding them on your hip. This will keep a nice secure fit. Get the strap sitting over the corner of your shoulder like this, and then pull this one in the direction of your child, so in the direction it's coming from, like this, and tighten it up so it's holding them as securely as you are in your arms. So when you let go, they don't move. If you do find it's a little bit loose, then just take your baby's weight slightly and just pull this down a little bit more. So the most important thing is that your child has got clear airways. So check you can see their face and they've got nice clear airways. You can have arms out over the top if the child wants, so they can bring their arm out over here. If they are going to have arms out, make sure this top panel is coming to at least their armpits. So you want it to go between their armpits and the nape of their neck. So here I've got this coming up comfortably to their armpits. If you want to fold it down, you can fold the top edge over to give a little bit more flexibility so they can see around a bit more. So that's the tightness and positioning. If you want to check that they are held nice and snug, you can either do it just by holding them in your arms like this, just checking that they feel nice and secure. The other way to do it is you can rest your hand on their head and then just gently lean sideways and just check their body doesn't pull away. But the main thing, the easiest way is just to check by just feeling. If you feel you need to lift them, then obviously tighten it a little bit more. Arm round here is over the top. Again, it can be either inside or outside depending on what the child wants. Now position wise, have a little feel or look in a mirror, and you want ideally the bottom to be lower than the knees. Now it is slightly harder with the demo doll because it hasn't got any muscle control, but if you do find you want to get the bottom a little bit lower, you can slide your hands inside and give a tilt. So what I'm doing is I'm just bringing the thighs around and the knees up, so you get a deeper seat by bringing the legs around like that. Now what this will also do, it'll also make the carrier fit wider, because the lower the bottom is, the longer the material going from the centre of their bottom to their knees. So the lower the bottom is, the wider the carrier will fit. So you get a really nice seated position here with the bottom lower than the knees and the lower legs swinging freely. So that is how to hold your baby to put them in and get the nice deep seat, and also how to achieve that afterwards if they have gone a little bit straight. Now if you're finding your child they've got very long legs and you actually want to give a bit more support, and even with doing this it's still not coming to their knees, you can also use a scarf to help achieve this position. So I've got here a scarf. Now you can do this with any kind of scarf. This is a pashmina, but you can use a normal scarf as well. It just needs to be long enough to reach around. So what I'm going to do, just gather this up and just bring this underneath their bottom and up under their knees like this. So it's just literally lifting their knees into this position. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off just by looping this one through around. So just loop this fabric through like that, so it's just holding it in place. And I'm going to bring this round underneath their bottom and into the opposite knee. I'm going to bring this around, keeping it nice and taut, and just wrap it around this strap here. Now, because of the friction involved, you don't actually need to put a knot, just looping it around should be sufficient on there. But what you might want to do just to tighten it up is just bring that one up, and then you can, if you want to, wrap it round and loop it through just to tie it. So all that will do is basically keep that nice M position, even if baby's knees are a little bit wider than the width of the carrier. This does fit really nice and wide though for most sort of 3 and 4 year olds, so you're not likely to have to do this unless your child has got very long limbs and you feel you need to support them a little bit more. You can obviously adjust this just by tightening this up and feeding it round. Feed it around a little bit more underneath here, so you can bring that round and through here. It just gives a little bit of a lift if you feel you need it, like that. If you want to, you can also spread the material up over their bottom a little bit like this. You'll then need to tighten up this top edge by feeding it through, which you can do by twisting it round when it comes through here on both sides, if you want to give a little bit more support under their bottom too. But it's entirely up to you how you want to use the scarf to support, because it's only an aid to supporting them rather than anything structural. So that's how to get a nice deep seat with your Scootababy, and also how to use a scarf to extend the width of it once your child's a bit bigger. To take them out, you just take off the scarf, like this, bring it round, and then you take your Scootababy off as per normal. So take hold of this clip here, just lift right the way to the full extent, bring this over your head, and then you can take baby out and put them down. And that's how to use a Scootababy on the side with an older child.